In our last video, we learned how to add elevation to our existing layout. This video, we are going to add terrain to the layout to give it a little bit more life. Alright, so now let's look at some terrain options. The easiest thing to do before you do this is to turn layers on. The nice part about layers is if I select layer 1 and I want to draw something on layer 1, I can remove or hide layer 0, which is where my track is, and I just have the baseboard. It works the opposite way as well. If I've got terrain on layer 1 that I don't want to see because it's covering the track, I can turn off layer 1 and I'll be able to see the track. But let me show you how this works. So what you want to do is you want to go over to your drop down where you've got your track, go all the way down to this option down here called figures, select figures, and I want to draw in a mountain into this corner right here. So I'm going to go select polygon, and it draws just like your baseboard did. So you can select a point on the map, and as you can see, it goes wherever I want it to go. If I hold control, it'll get snapped to 0, 45, and 90. So I'm going to bring this out to about, let's say here, and then I'm going to draw just kind of a random shape, have it cross the track again, and then to bring it back, you just get it close and right click, and that'll fill in the rest of the polygon. Now I'm going to give this a height of 3 inches, and I'll give it a color of green because I want it to look similar to the terrain, and snap to terrain bottom. The reason I click snap to terrain bottom is just to make sure that it goes all the way down to the baseboard so that I don't have any awkward gaps, just as a safety precaution. Then select OK. Now you can see I've got this green blob that's covering the track. Now if I go down to this layers option, I can select layer 1, or sorry, click on layer 0 so that I'm in the track layer now, and I can deselect layer 1 and that'll hide the mountain so I can see the track. So what I've noticed here is that I actually have a mountain, if we go into the 3D view, that's covering the track. And I personally do not want it to be covering the track, so we need to make a tunnel. So what I'm going to go in here and do is I'm going to select this piece of track and realize that it's not going to allow me to put a tunnel entrance right here because it's just continuing this piece of track. If I were to select tunnel, it would just add it over that entire piece of track. So what I want to go in and do, I'm actually going to turn off layer 1 so I can see the track. I'm going to delete this piece of track, select this arrow here. I'm going to go back to my track figure, scroll down to the 282 millimeter radius. I'm going to go with the 45, and I want it to turn left off this, so I'll select that, press space, and it'll select it again. I forgot to turn the tunnel portion off, so I'm going to go up, click the tunnel, and it disappears. Now what I can go in and do is double check that all my track heights are correct. So the track height here is 0.7 on this piece of track, but if I select this curve, it's 1.4, which is not correct. So I need to go in, I'm going to change the height. Let's put this at 0.7. That now matches with this one. And then over here, I'm just going to select this piece and I'm going to bring it down until I get to a -3% grade. So not 0.43, let's go with 0.44. Perfect, at -3. And the reason it's -3 not +3 is because we're reading it coming down the slope, so it needs to be a negative slope. So I can go into the 3D view. Whoops, 3D view won't help there, but I can tell that that is all going to be one smooth slope. So now what I can go in and do is I can select this turn and this turn, and I can turn the tunnel option on. As you can see, here's the entrance to the tunnel and the exit. And now if I go into the 3D view, I have a clean tunnel entrance. See, this tunnel entrance is nice and clean, and this one is not. The reason being is my drawing doesn't quite line up with how I want it. So what you can do is you could go in and you could delete this piece and use your flex track with the commands that we learned earlier to draw out the exact length of a piece you would need to get the tunnel to look better. But what I'm going to go in and do, because it's a little bit easier, is I'm going to select figures again. I'm going to turn on layer 1 and select layer 1. Now I'm going to click on the object that I had, and I can simply edit it by dragging these points to alter or edit the mountain face. So I'm actually going to bring this back a little bit, and this to about here. And what you want to be able to do is there's a little line here. Let me pull this out of the way again. There's a line right here that kind of shows I'm going to turn off height so you can see. There's a little line here that shows exactly where the tunnel starts, and then there's an indicator to tell you which way the tunnel entrance is facing. You want to make sure you don't cover up this line, otherwise you'll get the same kind of visual that we had just a second ago. So I'm going to bring it over here to the side, and then I'll click 3D to double check that that worked. And as we can see, if I can move the right way, the tunnel entrance is now visible, and there's a mountain here. So there's that. Another thing you could do is, I'm going to actually delete this just for a quick second so we can see what it looks like without the mountain. So if I delete this and I have the tunnel portion in and I select 3D, it'll terraform its own mountain just based off of what it needs for the tunnel to be covered, which is nice if that's something you want. With that being something that actually could be really nice, I'm going to actually remove this mountain face and make a new one. I'm going to start here, but instead of going all the way to the tunnel like I did on the last part, I'll click a little bit more randomly and not quite to the tunnel face. And then I'm going to give this one a height of 3. I'm going to select the color again because the color is nice. Click OK. I'm going to do that 2 more times. Actually, let me show you what it looks like first. This is what it'll look like in, let me escape out of this. This is what it'll look like in the 3D view. A little bit of a blocky face, and let's say I wanted to build this up to about a foot tall, or let's go with 7 inches tall for this drawing. If I just put in a 7-inch block, there'd be a pretty big square face right here. So I'm going to build it up in layers, kind of like a topographic map if you were to build it out of cardboard. So let's go in, and I'm going to build in not quite the same features, but close to the edge, and close that. I'll give that one a height of 5, and again the same color green. And I'm going to do it one more time just to give us that height of 7 that I was talking about. And close that off. Give that one a height of 7 and the color green again. And that's what we have for the mountain. So if I go into the 3D view, I can now see that it's kind of stepped its way up. Now these are pretty big steps. You can make smaller steps if you want. However, I found that even with the free version of Scarm, it's usually best to just not worry about terraforming. But if you want a really small layout like this and you want to put in a bunch of detail, you have the option to as well. Again, the free version of Scarm only allows so many figures and objects to be put into your layout before it tells you you need to purchase the full version. Now, if you're building a bigger layout and you want to add all this in, I would recommend buying the full version of Scarm. It allows you to do a lot of other options that the free version does not give you access to, such as simulating a train running around your track to make sure that it all runs smoothly. That I will not be showing you because I do not have the full version. As my layout was fairly small, I can get away with just using the free version. So let's go into here and let's show you how to build a lake and a bridge. So I'm going to go in, I'm going to select the polygon tool since we're here. Actually, let me select layer 2, and I'm going to put the lake on layer 2. So I'm going to select the polygon tool and draw in a lake underneath the track so that I can show you the bridge, and to add a little bit of interest to the layout, because who doesn't like bridges. And then I'm going to bring this back over and finish it off. So I'm going to select a height of 0, sorry, and I'm just going to snap this the terrain bottom, and I'm going to make it transparent. The reason I'm making it transparent is I want it to cut away from the baseboard below that we've already made. Click OK, and now if I go into the 3D view, we can see that it is cut out this lake bed where I would like it to be. Now if you want to make it look like there's water in it, you can select this. I'm going to control copy, control paste, and then I will right click on it, go to properties. I'm going to give it a height of 0.25. Let's make it super thin, just so that you get the idea that there is water. And I'm going to select this color blue for water because it looks kind of like BC, and I like the water BC, Canada. Select OK. Now you can see that this is filled in with water. Go into the 3D view and you can see that we now have a lake. Here's the issue though. If we go down, there's no bridge support. That is just track and ballast. So the easiest way to fix that is go in here. I'm going to turn off. I'm going to go to layer 0. I'm going to turn off layers 2 and layer 1 so that I can see the track simply and easily. And I know that the water is going underneath this piece of this curve of the track here. So I'm going to select that curve and I'm going to go up and select bridge. So now I've got a bridge. If I go into the 3D view, I can see the bridge. And I can see that it is nicely going over the water here. Now if you don't want it to go over this entire length of the curve and you just want it to cover the part of the water and then go back to ballast on this part, you have to use the same flex track tools that I was talking about you would need to make the tunnel properly. And there's the same flex track tools we covered earlier. So now that I have that bridge, I'm going to turn these layers back on and I can now see this is what my layout looks like. Thank you for watching this How to Use Scarm video by the Sierra Pass Railroad. Make sure to like this video or leave a comment below if you have anything that I missed or what you would like to see in the future. Also make sure to subscribe so that you do not miss out on future how-to videos or layout updates. Thank you for checking out the channel and watching this video. Have a good one.